Good morning. The news is from Education Plus. The undue emphasis given to grammatical rules when teaching English inhibits students from gaining linguistic competence. A revolutionary shift is required in the realm of English language teaching to empower learners in acquiring linguistic competence. The current approaching methods, strategies, and technique in practice have not yielded the desired results. English remains an uninspirational language despite our country's centuries long acquaintance with it. The theories and practices of the English language were predominantly shaped by the British, especially the monolinguals who did not have much grip over the multilingual styles of acquiring languages. They laid undue emphasis on the primary peripherals of the language such as grammar and pronunciation and insisted on achieving a native-like fluency and accuracy. Obstacles to learning. Let us examine how the grammar of English is an obstacle to learning the language grounded on the experience of numerous teachers and learners, but which unarticulated as we are treated as non-native speakers. Drawing upon our experiential knowledge of mother tongues, we could confirm that we acquire them in impressive contests by watching, listening, imitating, and producing. The initial stages involving articulating sounds, gradually progressing to individual words, then expanding to chunks of words, and ultimately maturing to produce simple sentences. Notably, grammar hardly figures in the polyglots watch for this, as they constantly keep their antenna alive to keep up expressive from all possible sources or least concerned about the grammatical connections of their acquisition. A parallel can be drawn from migrant laborers who focus on the surviving language in their place of residence and work. Even those who never stepped in schools can observe the necessary language unaware of the grammatically. In informal settings such as home or any non-institutionalized context, grammar takes a backseat, facilitating smoother and quicker language acquisition. The instance on grammar, particularly in institutionalized setting, reveals a distortion in the cognitive process, be it the mother tongue or other tongues. Recognizing these educational curriculums introduce the grammar of the mother tongue at a later stage. Given then learners are averse to these components. In our pedagogy, contrary to real-life ecosystem, the introduction of language and grammar of English occur almost simultaneously as if learners could acquire the language through grammar. This ignores the truth that grammar is about the language, not the language. Af- Another misplacement significance lies in attributing equal weightage to all four skills listening, speaking, reading, and writing LSRW regarding the natural or under of acquisition. Speaking and listening inherently take procedure over the other two. Therefore, prioritizing speaking over the other skills, particularly in initial phases, is impressive. An often overlooked yet crucial distinction lies in the difference between the spoken and written forms. While written language adheres strictly to grammatical rules, spoken language provides leeway. A single word, a phrase, or an unfinished utterance can effectively convey the intended messages. The additional advantage of the nonverbal elements such as gestures, postures, visual cues, and tonal variations can amplify meanings and keep the listeners activated. Further, spoken form could be imbued with emotion to sway the audience, but the written mode constantly maintains a formal tone, follows a linear progression, and distanced from readers. Regrettably, the grammar of written language is imposed on the spoken mode, which acts as a summing back to gain speaking competence. Nevertheless, the liberating development is the acceptance of non-traditional grammar usage on social media, where code switching, the code missing are liberally employed and embraced by all. Reading helps. The most practical approach to gain grammatical sense is primordially by reading, and is unconscious cognitive progress seemingly embeds grammar into long-term memory. In contrast, the conscious teaching In contrast, the conscious teaching of grammar items may be enable learners to comprehend, store, and recall but incapacitate them in application serving little purpose. Learning can occur consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously. And for grammar, sub-unconscious learning through reading may prove more effective than conscious drilling. Applied linguistics emphatically state that the grammar of a language can be learned without knowing the language, and conversely, a language can be learned without knowing its grammar. For spoken communication, grammar is not an absolute necessity, hence, we must cease to insist on it for the effective acquisition of English. It is by the writer or is a retired professor of English and National Secretary of English Language Teachers Association of India, LTI. So friends, we are just known that English language is more important not only in listening, speaking, reading and writing. It is the vocabulary and pronunciation and grammar is more important. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.